Hey there, friends. Happy New Year. Welcome to season 4 of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Batten. I'm so excited to be here. I am thrilled and excited to be starting 2023 with our 4th season. Thank you, my friends, for listening to the podcast. I hope you've had a fantastic past season 2022. I hope it was a great year for you. Probably not without its bumps and humps, right? We've had a year, a time or two, haven't we? So I just wanted to jump in and say thank you right off the bat for listening to us here on the Creative Shop Talk podcast. It's because of you that we are into our season 4. So thank you for all your encouraging words and for listening. Our downloads are crazy. They're just escalating every week. So we appreciate you so much. And my goal and my mission, honestly, is just to help retailers thrive through these crazy times, right? Through retail times. So we just got off a holiday break. We took a couple of weeks off. I am recording this almost to the day of when we'll be launching it on January 9th, a little bit ahead to give my team some time. But we've enjoyed a great holiday break. My family, my daughter's been home from New Zealand, so it's been wonderful to just spend some time together. And I hope you've had a little bit of downtime as well. Today we're going to be talking about what we should focus on going into 2023. It's something my retailers and my retailers inner circle have been asking. It's something that my mastermind members and I have already been discussing. So I wanted to bring them here to you on the podcast today. So it's been exciting. We've been welcoming new members into the Retailers Inner Circle. If you are looking for community and education and support with people who are like-minded and all doing their own thing, though, I love that about our group. We're all doing different things, but still overall, we all have dreams and passions of running our retail business our way, but still with those foundational aspects that are needed for running a retail business going into 2023. It's really important. So I hope today's podcast will spark something in you, will ignite something or give you some ideas for a fresh start and a new look on new eyes on your business with a different eye. I guess maybe not necessarily new eyes, but sometimes it's great to be thinking about different ways of running our business. And I think that's going to be the theme for 2023. We've really got to make sure that we are paying attention for our clients and to our clients' needs and to our needs, right? It's really important. So anyway, we'll jump into that. And again, I want to remind you something that's been really helpful to me over the last year. And again, I want to share it with you is if you could share something from this podcast, from this episode itself with someone, maybe it's a team member, maybe it's a fellow shop owner, it is the greatest way to retain and distill the information, maybe something that you pull from here, a spark that you get from the podcast today. So if you teach it to somebody else or talk about it or discuss it or explain it to somebody else, it has been proven to help you retain the information. So, and it's been something that I've been doing with a lot of podcasting, coaching, and everything that I've been doing over the last year. So I want to share that with you. And I would love to know if you are following along. Please remember to, click the follow button and keep following so you don't miss any episodes. Share a screenshot of the podcast on your Instagram and tag me. And I would love to come and follow you as well too. So take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram. I'm at Wendy Batten Biz, and ask any questions or let me know your thoughts on any of the episodes that you listen to. So those two things would mean the world to me. So don't forget, follow and leave a review as well too. It really helps us here keep the podcast going. It's, all the algorithms, y'all know, right? It really does help us. So let's jump in without further ado into today's podcast. And let's talk about the 6 things that we should be focusing on, or we could be focusing on in 2023. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Okay, let's have a fresh start, kind of new eyes and fresh start. So, in no particular order, I am going to share some of the things that I think we should be focusing on. It's things that we will be focusing on inside my Retailers Inner Circle. It's things that my Level Up Mastermind group will be focusing on. I really think it's important for us to remember to be creative and innovative in our business. It's so important, right? We need to always be adjusting our priorities. We've been doing it. We're pros at this now, right, my friends? So, looking at our business with fresh eyes is really important. I also really believe overall into 2023, we are seeing a small shop explosion. The retailers that are really working at paying attention to the details, and if are doing well, and that doesn't mean that you're not doing well. If you're not doing well, it doesn't mean you're not paying attention. But I would love you to really think about this creative and innovative way of running our businesses. So I'm going to share some things today, and some of the things I just think that we should be focusing on a little bit, and maybe our collective energy, because I think the collective energy or the collective thoughts around retail right now might be a little bit of fear, right? I mean, we're hearing all the things, right? And the news is bombarding us. But what I'm hearing and then what I'm seeing and what I'm seeing happen, they're two different things. So we need to shift our energy. We need to shift our thoughts. We need to shift our mindset so that we can do the work that we need to make our businesses thrive. Because our customers, your customers need you. They need you to stay in business. So we want to have this positive energy moving into 2023. So I hope these things help you. So again, in no particular order, because they're all important in my opinion. A couple are more important than others, and I will flag those down as we go through. But one of the first things I think that we really need to focus on is reminding ourselves that we are in the hospitality business. We are in the hospitality business. And although money matters and all the things are, it's really important, but it's connection with people. One of my clients, Millie, she shared this great quote. Millie was on the podcast previously, and she said, hospitality, what is it? Hang on, I'm going to grab my notes because I can't remember her exact quotes here, but hospitality needs humanity. And I love that. So we can't be managed by spreadsheets, although those spreadsheets are important. Hospitality is the business that we are in. So we are in about the experience and how we make people feel, right? I want you to really think about how people feel coming into your shops. Why do they come into your shops? This is going to be significant going into 2023. We totally need to make sure that we are explaining or making people feel, not explaining. When people talk about us, when they talk about us, that they're coming from a place of feeling. When they come into our shops, they have a place of feeling, right? So it's really important. I think that what's resonating with our clients right now is the experience, the whole customer experience. And again, in the Retailers Inner Circle and in my mastermind group, we are going to be pulling that right down to the bones of how to offer that experience. But what it means overall is thinking about how you make people feel, what you're selling them, how they feel in the shop, the whole thing, the whole thing. So I want you to think about the connection that you have with your clients. It's really important, and how we're making them feel. Number 2, okay, I know that you're going to say, I know this, Wendy, but I want you to really listen to what I'm saying. We need to make sure that we are building a positive marketing strategy. We're putting a positive marketing strategy in place. We need to build allies and believers from our customers. Those raving fans are going to matter more. And again, goes back to that hospitality and how we make people feel. We need to market with marketing that connects. It is not about doing more social media or being in more places, although that will help. Maybe that might be the strategy, that those might be the tools that we use, but the overall marketing strategy that you put into place is what's really going to matter. It's also going to matter to make sure that you are being found easier. I am still shocked at the number of small independent shop owners that are not found easily because, from the simple things of not having, Google My Business maybe, or not being set up properly. But marketing that connects with your buyers and the people that you want to do business with, those allies and believers. And what I mean by allies and believers, those are the people, think about that. Those are the people that when they come in, they bring people with them. They talk about you. They just can't stop saying your praises. They share on Instagram. Those are the people, those are the people we need to nurture and we need more of. So we want to attract new people all the time, but we also want to really make sure that we are nurturing and using our marketing strategy to do that as well too. We need feel good, aligned marketing, my friends. We need to put that whole framework. I have a 5-part framework. I'm sure if you've been listening for any length of time, I talk about my 5-part framework, Foot Traffic Made Simple, and it includes, attracting new people and nurturing them, engaging with them and nurturing them, serving them what they want, and wowing and delighting them. I mean, it's so important. I'm like really fired up about this year, but it's really important that we do it in an aligned way with us and our brand and what feels good for us. But also, we do want to make sure we're evoking feeling. It's not just about more social media. It's not about that, right? We really want people to, pay attention to us, obviously, but in a good way, that they just want to be part of what we're building in our communities, right? So you want to be the go-to place that people bring other people to. Like that is such a good feeling. And there's so many ways we can attack that and attract that in our business. So number 2 is marketing that connects. Number 3 is, and don't roll your eyes with this one, my friends, but number 3 is systems. And I probably should put this one at number 1 if I was putting them in order. Systems and organization for your business. We don't have time to muck around anymore. If you have been sort of talking about putting systems and strategies in place as far as SOPs, your standard operating procedures and all of these things, this is the time to be stable and have a solid foundation in your business. We just don't have time anymore to be reinventing the wheel all the time and winging it. I believe this to my core, that we really need to be organized. This helps make things easier for you. It makes it easier for your team. It's going to help your staff, and who doesn't want that, right? So making sure that the things that you do and rinsing and repeating, and again, I know we talk about this on the podcast a lot, but we want to make sure that we have these things organized. This is the year. Get organized, my friends. Let's just decide that this is the year you're going to put some good systems and checklists and SOPs in place. And I want you to remember, your processes, your people, the quality, your communications, your services, all of these things have systems that, you're doing it already. I know you are. Let's just put some systems in place. And these are also curated and adjusted all the time. We maintain these. The lists shift all the time, how we do things. So I just take some time this year, make this a mission of yours to make things easier for yourself, right? Make it easier for yourself by putting systems in place. This will help with your stability and your foundation, which I think will be crucial this year. I really think it's important as we move through 2023 to really make sure that we have we feel stable, we feel in control, we have things in place, we're moving ahead. This is going to help you, and it's going to calm all those like busy squirrels in your head, right? It's going to calm all those things. So I know for myself, and I know for a lot of my mastermind members, this is a big thing for us. We're really working hard on getting our systems in place. And baby steps, right? Start where you are with what you have and just make a checklist for today. Just what can you systemize at the end of every day? Ask yourself, what would make this easier? What would make this task easier? What would have made this thing easier? So systems are really important. Number 4 is shop culture and norms. So what I mean by that is making sure that the culture of your brand, your team mission, the values, your shop standards are all working for you, and that everybody's on board. Everybody, like the whole shop, is on board with this. You want to make sure that the culture you're trying to create And what I mean by culture, if you take out the word culture and you put in, this is how we do things around here. It's the easiest way I can explain culture. This is how we do things around here. And I want to remind you that culture is not always, it's not always like formally written down. And I don't mean like this big, long mission statement. I mean like literally how you want things to feel around here. So some of them are written down and, visual, and it's obvious, but other things are informal, like the informal way that we maybe whatever in the way your team treat each other. I want you to make sure that everything, like the attitudes and the behaviors and the shop standards, like the way we want the shop to look all the time. Shop standards are a big thing, and it's kind of a word that kind of buzzes in and buzzes out, but shop standards are really important. How we want the shop to look and feel and be. And it's really important to have those, that everybody is on board. Your whole team is on board, whatever those might be for you. So maybe it's cleanliness, maybe it should be cleanliness. Maybe, how we talk to customers, what we do. This is how we do it around here. This comes from you. This comes from you as the leader, and it trickles down. And so I really want to make sure that your team mission and your values and your shop standards and all of those things, I really think paying attention to that this year is going to be really important moving forward. Again, goes back to that hospitality, goes back to that systems, goes back to even marketing, your brand, right? It all intertwines here. This is part of your customer's experience. But having really strong shop cultural norms in place, I think, is really important this year. So number 5, number 5. Oh, before I jump to number 5, I just read a note that I had here, and I don't want to forget this, so I'm sorry. This is me in my informal podcast, sorry. But number 4, under shop culture, again, I mentioned it trickles down from the top. I want to remind you that if you're not present in your shop, and I know some of you are present all the time, but some of you may be a CEO working in the back office. I want you to remember that your presence matters to your people. You are the leader of your people. So I just want to remind you that making sure that you are leading by example. If you're running around with your head cut off and you feel all like crazy all the time, that feeling, that's going to trickle down to your people. So I want you to just remember to be the leader. I want you to remember as well, under that hospitality side of you being part of your shop. Again, you may not want to be like the only presence in your shop. I know some of you are building personal brands, but your shop's brand, being present matters to your employees. Being present matters to your clients. Occasionally, organically, you want it to be good. I just want you to remember that people are looking at you. Your team is looking at you for leadership. Lead by example. Your attitude, the way you present yourself, you are the closest, most visible authority for your own brand. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that reaches somebody out there. I want to make sure that you're showing up for your people and your brand. Hopefully that makes sense. So as a boss, as a CEO, it's our job. So that's part of the whole shop cultural side of things. Okay, number 5. Okay, this is going to seem obvious, but we need to make sure that we are focusing on being profitable in 2023. And I know everybody's like, well, duh, of course we want to be profitable. But we really need to make sure that we have our numbers under control. We need to make sure that we are increasing our products if we need to, our pricing and products if we need to, without guilt or fear or, without shame or feeling like, oh, I don't know if my customers will pay that. I don't want to hear any of that. This year we have got to be bold and brave about making sure that we are profitable. We are not going to do anybody any good if our shop closes because we are not profitable. An unprofitable business is not a viable business, and nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know that. Oh, I don't want to know that. That's what I hear all the time. But I want you to really pay attention to your margins this year, your expenses. We can be lean but excellent. You can be lean but excellent. You can still serve at your highest level. You can have beautiful products. You just make sure you have a handle on your inventory this year. We want to make sure we're in control. We want to make sure that we are paying ourselves and we are not sacrificing our own paycheck and lifestyle because we feel bad or whatever the reason is. It's it is more expensive these days to run a business. It is more expensive. So we have to place that CEO hat on our head, right? We have to do it. And we have to make sure we're paying our team well. Like don't cut the things that matter. Make sure you are being lean but excellent. I'm going to say that over and over again this year, probably lean but excellent. We need to be paying attention. This is the year. If you've not been really comfortable with the back end numbers and, I don't know, it's the year to put that hat on and really step into that role. This is the year for you to be looking at your numbers like with the big old magnifying glass, and not in a, and I say this all the time. If you're a listener, you've heard me say, we want to cut the fat. We don't want to cut in the bone, right? We don't want to cut the flesh. We don't want to cut things or be lean in areas that are making us money. We want to cut and be very paying attention to the wasteful money, the things that are not making us money, the things that we really don't need to be doing, the things that are not helping us with an ROI of time or money, right? So we really want to be looking at that and really paying attention and get comfortable being uncomfortable. Don't be an ostrich. Don't be an ostrich. And by that, I mean, don't put your head in the sand, right? We need to really make sure that we are paying attention to all of the numbers. So being profitable this year, be more profitable. I want you to be more profitable. That's number 5. And number 6 is something that we haven't talked a lot about here on the podcast, and I really think it's important, and we really need to make sure it's a focus this year. We need to make sure that we are offering frictionless buying. And by that, I mean our clients have gotten used to a lot of things over the last couple of years. Our clients want ease of pay. The way people pay now is just, there's so many options now, right? Like whether it's, Apple Pay or whatever it is, multiple pays, whatever works for your business. I want you to ask yourself, I want you to do a little bit of an audit and ask yourself, what is the ease of buying? So the way people pay, the hours that we're opened, the way we serve, whether we're continuing curbside pickup or click and collect or whatever, having extra cash registers. I've seen some of my clients, they're really paying attention. I'm thinking of Jeff from the Vintage Nest. He added a 4th cash register. He's got 4 because he saw the lines, and that was a friction for some people. And, he's increased his revenue and his profits because he's realized what was causing friction for my clients. They needed another cash register. So maybe that means being able to phone in orders, whatever that might be for you. Maybe it means again extending your hours. I really want you to pay attention to your hours. What is frictionless for your clients? What would work for them? Your return policies, let's have a look at those. Let's make sure, clients need to make sure it's a no-brainer to shop with you. It's easy to shop with you. It's frictionless. So demands are changing, right? So it's us. We still run our business your way. I'm not telling you to change your policies. I'm telling you to review and think about it from ease of making more money from your clients by making it easier for them to purchase from you. So if you have a website, if you're doing e-commerce, is it easy to get around? Is it easy to buy? Is shipping, does it make sense? Is it easy? Is it frictionless? Clients' demands are continuously changing. What got us here is not going to get us there, right? We always have to be adjusting. And as I said earlier, we're adjusting our priorities. So I really want you to have a step back and look at all of the ways people buy from you, and is that frictionless? And if you're wondering if if it's easier, start paying attention, or maybe start having conversations with people in our retailers inner circle. If you're wanting us to, put your website up, if you're a member of the inner circle, and we will go and have a peek, or we can talk about it, or we can see what we would think if we were a customer of yours. I want you to make it really easy for people to find you and buy from you. That's the big takeaway for frictionless buying. So that's my 6 things. I hope it makes sense. The 6 things that I think we should be focusing on in 2023. And these are things we will be focusing on inside my Retailers Inner Circle. And again, inside my Mastermind group, we are going to be focusing on these things. So again, just to recap them really quickly, number 1, we need to make sure that we remember that we are in the hospitality business. We are there to connect with people. and create experiences. That is what our job is going to be shifting into 2023. We're not just there to sell things. It's a whole hospitality industry for us now. So number 2 is marketing that connects. We want to build allies and believers. And number 3, we want to make sure our systems are in place so that we have stability and strong foundations. So that makes it easier for us. Number 4, I want to really focus on the shop culture that you're creating and the norm that you have set up inside your shop. Number 5, being more profitable. That should go without saying. We need to be really putting those CEO hats on this year and really being attentive to our profitability and honest with ourselves, right? We need to do the work, right? We need to really make sure we're doing the work. And number 6 is frictionless buying. We want to make sure that it is easy for people to buy from us, and we are making it super frictionless. So I hope you found those really helpful today. I hope that sparked something. I would love to know. Again, take a screenshot, of the podcast and share it on Instagram, and tell me what takeaway or what one of these things, or let me know what your thoughts are. If there's any one of these focuses that have maybe sparked something for you, that would really help me know what you're going to be working on, and we can have a discussion around that as well too. If I can support you in any other way, please reach out. You can find me on Instagram, as I mentioned, at Wendy Batten Biz, or jump over to the podcast and make sure you're following it wherever you're listening to this. You can click the follow button on the podcast apps and follow along and join us every week. Next week, we have, as we're jumping in, we have a conversation about trends happening for retail, what trends are happening and what's coming in retail in different areas in independent retail. We'll be talking about that next week in episode 140. Next week is episode 140. And please reach out. You can find more information about my programs and services, my Retailer's Inner Circle, my Retail Made Simple course. That has been amazing this year. We've been welcoming lots of new people into Retail Made Simple. That's an on-demand course to give you those foundations and stability. And you can also join us in the Retailer's Inner Circle. And I do one-to-one coaching. So I'd love to work with you or support you in any way. Or again, the podcast is here for you as well. You can find out more information about my programs and services at wendybatten.com. Thanks, my friend, for being here. So happy to have you here. And again, listen to us next week. And thanks for joining us. Season 4 of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you next week, my friend. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you're here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.